Look to the end. I've collected those rare vintage photos that you haven't seen yet. Let's get 1,000 subscribers on the channel. The youth trend of the 50s in the USA. If a girl wears a dog strap on her left ankle, she has a boyfriend. If on her right, she is on the lookout. The death of American dancer Isadora Duncan. The scarf got caught in the spokes of the rear wheel, after which her neck was instantly broken. Nice. September 14th, 1927. The editorial office of the New York Times, 1942. Recording of an episode of Gangbusters, a true crime radio show, New York, 1930s. Inside the Gunhouse Saloon in Sonora, California, 1898. Lecture Hall of Rush Medical College, 1900, Chicago. Archduke Ferdinand, whose murder would start the First World War, photographed as a mummy, 1894. The daughters of a German officer pose with his saber and helmet, 1914. Einstein explains the theory of relativity, 1922. Chaste advertisement for Victoria's Secret underwear brand in 1979. Flappers. Photos from the 1920s. They showed off their legs in unacceptably short dresses, preferred short haircuts, heavily lined their eyes, and used dark red lipstick, giving their lips a fashionable Cupid's bow shape. Morning meditation. Fujiyama, Japan, 1961. The Beatles eat spaghetti during a visit to Italy, 1965. Stephen Hawking, with his first wife Jane Wilde and their children Robert and Lucy Barbecue, 1977. The inventor of the snake corset, Edith Lasilfi, 1900. Claudia Schiffer with a brand new phone, Palm Beach, 1989. Preparation of Tarasun, i.e. milk vodka, Yakutia, the end of the 19th century. Audrey Hepburn and Humphrey Bogart on the set of Sabrina, the year 1954. A Farewell Kiss, United States, 1942. New York State Psychiatric Hospital, Pilgrim, 1938. The girl is preparing for exams. Poland, the 1970s. In 1954, the American Don Pointer invented a whiskey-flavored toothpaste. It contained 3% alcohol and became very popular among drinkers. At Idlewild Airport, now John F. Kennedy International Airport, 1951, New York. American actress Anne Sheridan signs autographs for British sailors, 1941. Spanking equipment at the police station, Govan, Scotland, 1890s. A woman in her bombed apartment, Berlin, 1945. changing of the Soviet Guard to the American Guard at the Spandau Prison for War Criminals, West Berlin. Winston Churchill in a suit of his own invention in case of an air attack. Rose Kennedy, the mother of the assassinated U.S. President John F. Kennedy, survived her 4 children, 3 grandchildren, 3 sons-in-law, and daughter-in-law Jacqueline, and died at the age of 104. A geisha gives a light to a man in a bar in Tokyo, Japan, 1969. This is a bicycle, 1881. A serious young lady is rushing to the tournament. Elizabeth II, 1932. Party, 1960s. Brigitte Bardot in a giant straw hat, 1950. A woman of the Victorian era is photographed for the first time, 1890s. Hans Zimmer and his Moog synthesizer, 1970. The first ever Miss Universe pageant. For the first time, the most beautiful girl in the entire universe was chosen in 1952. And the first Miss Universe title was won by Finnish model and actress Armi Kusela, who was 17 years old at the time. Frank Lentini is a man born with 3 legs. Eight-year-old Richard Sarge with his father, a German oil engineer. Russia, 1906. Madonna on her wedding day with Sean Penn, August 16, 1985. Famous violinist Vladimir Horowitz and his wife Wanda dance at the legendary disco club, Studio 54. The installer of blast furnaces, Kemerovo, 1980. Alain Delon at the Cannes Film Festival, 1961. Ernest Hemingway in his office. The writer's neighbors called Hemingway a cat daddy. Massage brush for bald head. The brush is designed for people with bald heads. The bristles are designed for combing and cleaning the temples, and a soft sponge made of felt is for a delicate massage of the upper part of the head. The year 1950. Olga, Tatiana, Maria, and Anastasia Romanov, Grand Duchesses of Russia, 1902. At the Registry Office. Uzbekistan, 1925. Carla Bruni, the future wife of French President Nicolas Sarkozy, poses at the Ploshchad Vostania metro station in St. Petersburg. Petersburg, 1992. It has always been difficult for the short Dustin Hoffman to find a dance partner. Francis Ford Coppola at the Cannes Film Festival, and on his neck sits his daughter Sophia, who will also become a director and shoot Translation Difficulties. Our mom loved to tell us how, as a teenager, she worked for Tiger Beat magazine and interviewed various celebrities like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. We always thought it was a story, until one day when we were cleaning up her room, we found this photo. Basketball player Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and basketball coach John Wooden in 1969 and 38 years later. Andre the Giant has successfully held the record for the number of beers consumed in one session over the past 40 years. Over a 6-hour period back in 1976, Andre Durand consumed 119 standard 12-ounce servings of beer in a pub in Pennsylvania. 19-year-old Jim Carrey and his unique method of hitchhiking, 1981. The Boy in the Mask of Adolf Hitler, London, 1938. The champion of Dnepropetrovsk and the region in boxing among young men, Joseph Kobzon, 1954. Halloween, Florida, USA, 1954. Rainy evening, Los Angeles, 1920s. Reconstruction of the appearance of a woman who lived 5,000 years ago in modern Iran and wore an eye prosthesis. The World's First Flying Man by Otto Lilienthal. He died in 1896 when his glider crashed from a height of 15 meters. His last words before his death were, "Sacrifices are inevitable." The First Tattoo Parlors, 1928. When Money is Trash, Hyperinflation in Germany, 1923. Showgirl Rosemary Williams, New York, 1949. The farmer called the piglet, who was trying to push other piglets away from the feeder and take all the food for himself, Hitler, and isolated him. London, 1942. The construction of the Titanic at the shipyards of the Harland and Wolff Limited Shipbuilding Company in Queens Island, 1910s. Family Portrait, Lübeck, Germany, 1950. Arnold Schwarzenegger poses at the Victoria Palace Theatre, London, 1968. Retro photography of women's wrestling. A Red Army soldier on parade in Moscow, 1940. The center of Stalingrad, now the city of Volgograd, after 5 months of fierce street fighting between the Red Army and the Wehrmacht, early 1943. Watching TV at Waterloo Station, London, 1936. When television first began broadcasting in the UK, expensive televisions were out of the price range for most people. Masked train passengers during the Spanish flu in 1918. French soldiers liberate Strasbourg, 1944. Marie Curie, the first person to receive the Nobel Prize twice, first time in physics, then in chemistry. Ip Man teaches his student Bruce Lee, 1955. Hippopotamus's birthday, 1957. the start of women's racing in the wheel, Los Angeles, 1930s. Sailing to Fujiyama, 1920. Nurses, Shanghai, 1937. Wind Tunnel, 1935. The girls from the movie You're in the Army Now, 1941. German Boys at the Gum Machine, 1955. Dancers of the Windmill Theatre, London, 1940. Winston Churchill paints a landscape in Lourmarin, France, 1948. After the earthquake, Alaska, March 27, 1964. Western fashion in China, 1980. Roland, the elephant seal, takes a snow bath, Berlin Zoo, 1930. In 1956, during the Giro d'Italia, cyclist Fiorenzo Magni falls on the 12th stage and breaks his left collarbone. He refuses the cast and continues the race bandaged.
Friends, subscribe and write your opinion in the comments.